From news and views, issues and opportunities, we'll have in-depth conversations with decision makers to find out what they know and what they think. I'm Rico Hizon, inviting you to join the exchange because your business is our business. Most Filipinos look forward to the end of the year for reunions and get-togethers, especially for family members coming home for the holidays. Many of our overseas kababayans are sending love ahead of Christmas through parcels or hard-earned cash. And delivery companies are making sure these are handled with care and arrive at doorsteps in time for the Yuletide season. Filipinos living and working abroad make it a point to send money to families back home for daily and even emergency expenses. What is the remittance activity like around this time of the year, the holiday season? Let's now have an exchange with Redentor, Paolo Alegre, and Dindo Santos of the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the exchange. Paolo, let me start off with you. Historically, more Filipinos send money back home in the Burr months. But BSP data as of September reveals remittances only grew by nearly 3%, both on a monthly and year-to-date basis. How does this compare to previous years, especially during the pandemic?
Well, as you pointed out, I think we should focus on what we're expecting to get by the end of the year. So to give context, so last year for the full year of 2022, we received about 36.1 billion in remittances. This year, we project as of June that remittances will grow by about 3%. So that would be more than 3.13. In fact, as things are picking up now, and as so we believe that remittances may even hit maybe 37 billion on a more positive note.
But Paolo, could it have been better? Are there some factors affecting overseas Filipinos' remittance activities at this time of year?
Actually, when we look at the seasonality of remittances, there are only two peak seasons. One is during the July, before school season in the Philippines, and then of course in the bear months, and specifically December. So while there are signs that, well, as you know, global economy is slowing, so that can contribute negatively to remittances. However, due to the altruistic-ness of our Filipino compatriots, we believe that remittances will still be quite substantial towards the end of the year.
And Dindo, banks, remittance centers, and now you have so many remittance apps thriving as the Christmas holidays fast approach. How is the Bangko Sentral ensuring they are well regulated so that our OFWs' hard-earned money is safe and are received by their families and relatives?
Through our conduct of on-site and off-site supervision, we ensure that remittance players are operationally and financially capable to properly serve their clients by having sufficient capital, ample liquidity, also internal controls and robust risk management system. Second, our way of supervision is progressive. Given the nature of the remittance industry, especially with the advent of digitalization, competition has become the norm, and FIs are expected to leverage on technological advancements to remain relevant. So in this aspect, the BSP not only provides responsive regulations, but also forge strategic partnerships with industry associations and relevant stakeholders, such as with core regulators, to enable the remittance industry to thrive. And lastly, very shortly, responsive. As BSP consider remittance players as our partners, we inculcate to them the ability to be responsible by ensuring compliance with prudential and regulatory requirements.
That is very, very good, Dindo.
BSP supervision is, yes, yeah.
But of course, sending the remittances back to the Philippines is one way, but the other way is families, receiving all the cash. And how can they take better care of the money sent to them by their loved ones from overseas, Dindo?
Yes. So number one, essentially, the sender should check that the players that are dealing with the remittance players are both registered, whether they're dealing in abroad or here in the Philippines. So that's number one. They also need to check the remittance fees and charges. So this should be disclosed in the conspicuous place of business. And thirdly, they also need to check, for example, the rate, because it will impact on the amount of money that the beneficiaries will receive here in the Philippines.
Is the impact of the US dollar or the greenback on the Philippine peso significant during the October to December period?
So, Rico, if you're asking me, will the peso appreciate? All things equal, with the remittances coming in, yes, it should. However, as we all know, we don't live in a enclosed system. So, some factors that may affect the appreciation of the peso. One, continuing imports. As you know, we continue to build infrastructure in the Philippines, so such imports will slow the appreciation of the peso. Also, changes in the monetary policy of the U.S. and our monetary policy as well. Portfolio flows, and of course, uncertainty. We have a lot of that right now. The ongoing war in Russia, Ukraine, now in the Middle East. So these things are, as you know, we cannot forecast the results of this, and these may weigh on the appreciation, or may at least limit the appreciation of the peso versus the US dollar.
So Paolo, 36, 37, or $38 billion in 2023, how much of an impact will this have on the Philippine economy?
So in terms of level, again, last year was 36.13 billion. So this year, maybe more than that, approaching 37 billion. As to the impact, definitely, these are, well, in terms of remittances, when we look at the uses of remittances based on our surveys, most of the remittances of our compatriots go to food items, and then education, followed by medical expenses, and then they save what's left of it. So all in all, this contributes to consumption and therefore contributes to the economic growth of the Philippines.
Significant
and as
impact.
You know, consumption is the driver of economic growth in the Philippines.
Big impact, the OFW remittances to the overall Philippine economy. Thank you so much for this remittance activity exchange. The Bangko Sentral's Paolo Alegre and Dindo Santos. And now here's a rundown of the week's top business stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas kept the cost of borrowing at 6.5% as it sees moderate inflation on the horizon. President Bongbong Marcos appointed Rafael Consing Jr. as the first President and Chief Executive Officer of the Maharlika Investment Corporation. And the Asian Development Bank has approved a $400 million or 22.3 billion peso loan to support the government's medium-term fiscal strategy. And straight ahead on the exchange, where your business is our business. What do Filipinos overseas send home to their loved ones? Hard-earned cash or carefully prepared parcels? We speak to an overseas Filipino workers group and the Remittance Officer Association. And what do balikbayan boxes mean for overseas Filipinos in delivering their love for their families? We speak to the owner of Logo Cargo after the break. Keep it right here on CNN Philippines. News you can trust.